What's up, live stream? Welcome back. Week 11 start sit edition with your host, Andrew Erickson. I'm on Twitter at Andrew Erickson _. All my work can be found over at pff.com. Pro Football Focus is where all the great article content comes out. But you tune in to the stream every single Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern to get the start sits, to get the rundown on everything you need to know entering week 11. A lot of stuff going on. Tonight, my Patriots taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Tale as old as time, 28-3. Cannot wait for these Patriots to lay a smackdown on the Falcons. And because everyone's projecting like a blowout, it'll probably be a close game. So honestly, that's probably more entertaining anyway. We'd rather have it, a little bit more back and forth. I do think Matt Ryan might actually be able to move the ball a little bit on the Patriots. I know everyone's basically writing him off, and probably rightfully so, but we'll see Kyle Pitts make some plays out there. Could be a big week for big Mike Davis. Nah, I kid, but Cordero Patterson, I guess this will be a nice segue into the news and notes. Cordero Patterson is looking like a long shot. Ian Rappaport suggested it seems like an uphill battle for Cordero Patterson to suit up because of his ankle sprain now. It's kind of weird. It's like there have been mixed reports about it. So he's dealing with an ankle sprain, which saps explosiveness out of running backs. So you're kind of wondering, okay, like if he plays, like how effective is he going to be? It's a short week. He has been practicing, so maybe he does suit up and play. He's going to be limited. It seems like kind of a stay away situation. I mean, the Falcons offense has not necessarily been like this super, great offense that we want to attack for fantasy. Like we don't love the assets here. So I think that it does make Mike Davis, unfortunately, like an RB2 play because look, volume is king. And even I tweeted out, earlier this week about Wayne Gallman. Actually, Wayne Gallman out-touched Mike Davis with Matt Ryan under center, but it really all did come mostly in the second half. Even when Matt Ryan was still playing, it was already like 34-3 against Dallas. So I think Mike Davis is still going to be the starting running back. And even if he does lose carries to Wayne Gallman, he's probably going to be the most involved in the passing game. Like Mike Davis, honestly, would not surprise me at all if he catches like 10 balls for like 10 yards. So in like PPR formats, like Mike Davis will probably be okay. Half point PPR, obviously a little bit more like standard leagues, like not touching Mike Davis with a 10-foot pole. But in any format that rewards any type of receptions, I think Mike Davis is going to be involved in the passing game. He ran a route on 51% of Matt Ryan's dropbacks last week. If Cordell Patterson is banged up or just not playing altogether, then we're going to see Mike Davis involved as a receiver out of the backfield. So not the worst, not the best, obviously. It's not a great match. I mean, the Patriots got run over by Dearness Johnson last week. He caught a lot of passes. So there's a path where Mike Davis is relevant. You're not excited about him, but as an RB2, wouldn't put him in the flex. As an RB2, I think that he's okay if Cordero Patterson cannot go. But yeah, we will see at kickoff. Either way, I'm downgrading. I don't even have Patterson in my rankings. Honestly, I don't think he's going to play. So yeah, that's kind of the rundown on Mike Davis. I'll answer as many Mike Davis questions as I can in the start or sit. Other news and notes: David Bakhtiari remains silent at practice for the Green Bay Packers. James Robinson has been limited at practice. Now, Robinson has been, he played last week. He was fine. He scored a touchdown. So I think you just kind of view him, as a mid-range RB2. I know the workload hasn't been nearly as good, and the Jaguars are just so bad. They just can't move the ball on anybody. It's an issue. But you're still starting James Robinson, no big deal. Derrick Henry, there's optimism he will return for early January. So that's wild for this guy to be coming back. I mean, the Titans, it's so weird. You think that they're going to fall apart without the running back, and of course they're in their first place without Derrick Henry. So yeah, Arby's, chalk up another win for Arby's don't matter because the Titans are the number one team in the league, and they don't even have their best player at the running back position. So there you go. Arby's don't matter wins again. Jake Kumro is on the COVID list for the Buffalo Bills, same as Spencer Brown, the tackle. Spencer Brown missing is kind of significant. You don't want to miss offensive linemen. You don't want to miss tackles specifically. That actually affects the passing game more significantly. And the Bills don't run the football anyway. So, I'm not playing, as we'll get into, I'm not playing any of these Bills running backs. So Spencer Brown, let's keep an eye on that. I think it downgrades Josh Allen a little bit. Maybe you're not going to bench him in season-long leagues, but maybe a reason to not play him in DFS for some other options. Zach Wilson, limited practice. Joe Flacco is going to start. Not great for anybody, really. DK Metcalf did not practice on Wednesday. Gerald Everett did not practice on Wednesday. All that means is Tyler Lockett season is happening. here on Sunday. Some of these other Seahawks receivers are banged up. So, yeah, Tyler Lockett, he's going to be listed as he's a start this week. So I'm excited to play him. Look, it's a roller coaster ride with Tyler Lockett. Sometimes you're going up, sometimes you're going way down, but you just got to keep putting him in your lineup because you're going to be more upset if he scores 50 points and you missed out on it than if he scores 0 and you played him. So I would continue to play that player. And then, yeah, this is actually a really good note here as well, just on the Atlanta Falcons. So, Coach Arthur Smith said Wayne Gallman spiked Week 10 usage against the Cowboys because of a blowout and the Falcons having a Thursday night game. So, there you go. Like, it kind of tells you why Wayne Gallman was more involved. It wasn't because they're trying to get away from Mike Davis. Now, he'll obviously play more because there may not be Cordero Patterson, but Mike Davis is the lead guy. And look, volume is king. Like, I know that it's funny because I think about tweeting out like, oh, volume is king, except if your name is Mike Davis. It's just like, no, like it doesn't work that way. Like he's gonna get the volume, so he's going to put up some semblance of fantasy production. So yeah, that's kind of does it for Mike Davis. That's really it for most of the injuries. Again, just guys taking time off on Wednesday practice reports, not too significant, really hard to have any major takeaways, but a couple updates, injury updates from tonight's game. So I will get into some of the start sit questions here. But first, got to talk about the giveaway. We're doing a live giveaway this Sunday, November 21st, during the 12 p.m. Eastern kickoff live stream right here on the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel, courtesy of our friends at pristineauction.com. One lucky subscriber will receive an autographed Amari Cooper Dallas Cowboys jersey. How do you enter? It's simple. Subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel before the 12 p.m. Eastern Time Sunday live stream. Ask a fantasy-related question in the YouTube chat during the show. That's it. We'll announce a winner at the end of your stream, so make sure you stick around to claim your prize. I'm just hoping Amari Cooper can score some points this week. I know he's been up and down this year. He only has 2 games with over 16 fantasy points, and of course, they both came on island games. So in the Week 1 opener against Tampa, and then in that Halloween game against the Minnesota Vikings, we saw Amari Cooper have a big game. So it's the smash spot is here against the Chiefs. So everybody should score a million points. But as what always happens is football happens. So we'll see if he can keep it up. All right, let's get into some of the questions here. GH9, full point PPR, Marvin Jones or Alex Collins? Oh my God, that is gross. I'm going Marvin Jones. I know Jones has not done really much this year, but neither has Alex Collins. So yeah, I'll take the receiver in full point PPR. SPFD chess. Need 2 of Bateman, Gallup, Landry, and Tony. Half point PPR. The games that stick out to me, I'm going to go with Bateman and Gallup. Like Gallup upside, and Bateman has really been really consistent as a receiver for the Baltimore Ravens since coming back from his injury. So he's been like a top 30 guy in terms of points per game. So I like Rashad Bateman and Michael Gallup. Tony, I like a lot. I just don't know, like, I just like have so many question marks about like how many targets he's going to get. Is Sterling Shepard coming back? Like, I really don't know how to rank these Giants players this week. I kind of want to wait and see. And it is Tampa, so we will see. But I think go with Bateman and Michael Gallup. Brian S. PPR, Darrell Williams or Gaskin for RB2. I'm going Darrell Williams. Like, guys, like CH isn't going to play. Now, I think I would change my answer if CH does play. It doesn't look like he's going to play, but Darrell Williams has been like a top 12 running back all year long when he's been the starter. So, yeah, I like Gaskin. The matchup is obviously prime. He's a start for me this week, but I'm not taking Darrell Williams out. Like, Mahomes is throwing the ball to him a ton. So I think that he's in a good spot as RB2. And then for the flex, Bateman, Tony, Corey Davis. I mean, I don't mind even going Gaskin in the flex if you could do that. I mean, I like his matchup, but of those 3 guys, I would go with Bateman. Greg McDonald, Ramondre, Elijah Moore, Alex Collins. I will go with Ramondre Stevenson. It's a great matchup against the Falcons. Elijah Moore, I like, but he's fringier. We don't really know how to project his workload. We don't know how many targets he's going to get. I mean, he's kind of like in a committee, kind of like Stevenson is, and I just know the Falcons are just not good. And Ramondre is involved in the passing game. So if something weird happens, the Falcons get a lead, the Patriots are down, Stevenson's probably more likely to be in the game than is Damian Harris. So, yeah, I'll continue to ride the hot hand with Ramondre Stevenson. Hot and buttery. I've definitely seen this name pop up here before. Scary Terry or Brandon Cooks. Both matchups make me nervous. Why does the Cooks matchup make you nervous? I mean, I'm going Brandon Cooks here. I'm not sure why you're. I mean, I know the Titans defense has been better. They're still not an elite defense, so I'm going with Brandon Cooks. The Titans, I believe, if I check my handy dandy start sit column, which you can see the entirety of at pff.com/Andrew Erickson, you can find that I have Cooks in there as a start this week. Because if you look at the Titans, so across the board, they rank the last 4 weeks. So even when they've improved over the last 4 weeks, the Titans first in targets to receivers, third in receiving yards to wide receivers in the past 4 weeks. So I'm still going to go with Brandon Cooks. And that brings up the starts that we're going to get into here as I take a break from the questions. Got some quarterbacks here to talk about. So, Mac Jones. Yes, Mac Jones is firmly on the streaming radar. So, the only quarterback that you may need to get, because obviously Matthew Stafford is on a bye week. So, if you need a replacement for him, I like Mac Jones. Look, he's been a top 50, he's been a top 10 quarterback, I believe, in 2 of his last 4 games played. So he's finally starting to put in fantasy production. He's actually PFF's highest graded quarterback since week 5. Last week, great performance, 83% completion percentage, 198 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, 2 top 10 finishes over the last 4 weeks. So he's finally starting to put his actual good play, like real life NFL play, into fantasy production. And yes, he has played some really bad teams, but the bad teams, he's playing another bad team tonight. Like, he's playing the Falcons. Like, they're not a good defense. We just saw him get absolutely destroyed by Dallas. Now, is Mac Jones going to do that? Not necessarily, but I do think that it makes a lot of sense for him in this matchup. Mac Jones should be efficient, and that's really more the important thing. I know that the knock on Jones is, the Patriots aren't going to throw the ball enough. He's not going to have enough passing volume, and that's something I just try to shy away from. Now, obviously, it's nice to have that floor of, okay, I know he's going to throw the ball like 35 times, 40 times, but efficiency matters. Like, he got it done last week, and he didn't even play in like the fourth quarter. So who's to say he can't do that again? They ran the ball a lot last week too, and he still got it done. So Mac Jones, I think that he's in a great spot this week, especially as you check out the article. I point out that Mac Jones is PFF's highest graded quarterback against cover 2. And that's what the Falcons run the most. Like, that's the coverage that they run a ton of. So I think that the Patriots passing game, wheels up for Mac Jones and company. Next guy, Justin Fields, quarterback, Chicago Bears. Look, he's been a top 10 guy the last 2 weeks. And, the ECR is down on him. He's like QB 17. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, come on. He's rushing. He's doing everything we want at the rookie quarterback position. Like, he's delivering what we all expected out of the gates. Now, it took some time. Took Matt Nagy, getting COVID, out of the way to, get Justin Fields running, but he's running more. He has 148 rushing yards the last 2 weeks. He's averaged 57 rushing yards over his last 4 games. So that's that's a touchdown. Like, that is a rushing touchdown that he's getting every single week just by rushing yards alone. So I think Fields is in a great spot this week against the Baltimore Ravens. They rank 5th fantasy points per game allowed to quarterbacks over the last 4 weeks. Fire up Justin Fields. AJ Dillon. Yes. AJ Dillon looks to be primed to take over the starting role. And the reason he's listed as start here, again, it's pretty obvious. Like, oh, well, of course you got to start AJ Dillon. It's like starting Aaron Jones. But that's what I mean. Like, it is like starting Aaron Jones. Like, AJ Dillon is ranked as my RB7 this week in half point PPR. So ECR has him at RB10. There's really not many guys I would start over him, really. It's really like Caffrey, Chubb, Najee, Dalvin Cook, Jonathan Taylor, Joe Mixon. Like, I'd start him over Eckler, Swift, Elliott, Fournette, James Conner, like all these guys. I would start AJ Dillon over. Like, he's just in a really great spot. I don't think the Vikings defense is very, very good. I don't think they're going to be able to stop him. So I think that AJ Dillon just makes a ton of sense. He's going to be involved in the passing game. I know that at Boston College he wasn't, but that's because he went to Boston College. They didn't throw the ball. So it's not his fault that they didn't throw the ball. He's been used more in the passing game this year. Patrick Taylor Jr. is the only other running back on the team. So I think really, AJ Dillon's in a really good spot. Take the over 65.5 rushing yards. Take the over on AJ Dillon. Myles Gaskin next. Oh, God, Myles Gaskin. Look, you got to zoom out here. You can't look at the run blocking because Miami can't not run block for anything. PFF's 30th ranked run blocking unit. But Myles Gaskin, 18.7 touches over the last 4 weeks. Yes, check mark. That's good. Jets. JETS, Jets. The worst defense against running backs by a wide margin. They've allowed over 9 more fantasy points per game than the second worst team, the Seattle Seahawks. So, look, if Gaskin cannot get it done here, then it's like this issue is just like beyond fixable. Like, he's just unusable at this point. But he's in a good matchup. I know the Texans game was also a good matchup. He did score in that game. Like, he was fine in that game. Like, it wasn't amazing, but he got it done. He scored a touchdown. So, Myles Gaskin, you're not thrilled about it. Kind of like starting Mike Davis. But, I mean, yeah, Gaskin still should be top 20 running back. I have him at RB16 in my rankings for running backs. Yeah, you're starting him. And then lastly, not least, Brandon Cooks. I know I mentioned him. Guys, he's the alpha in this offense. Like, he literally leads the NFL in air yard share. So he's getting great usage and the matchup is really good. So Tyrod Taylor targets Brandon Cooks. He's an upgrade over Davis Mills. And yeah, I just don't think it's a really big issue. Cooks, just one of three players this year, DJ Moore, Devontae Adams, to own a top 5 air yard share and target share this season. So look, the volume is going to be there for Brandon Cooks. Efficiency is kind of like but I think you should get it done as a receiver in a plus matchup against the Titans. Back to the questions here. Hot and buttery. Start Brandon Cooks, as I've said. Luis Gonzalez Jr. What's up, Andrew? Need some reliable advice. Okay. Yes, I will try to deliver reliable advice, not just bad advice. Should I drop Jamal Williams, Chuba Hubbard, Dan Arnold, or Jones Jr. for Latavius Murray? They're all bench players for me. Yeah, I would probably drop Jamal Williams at this point. He's banged up. Don't know how healthy he is. Some of those other running backs have looked pretty decent behind Swift. Jamar Jefferson, Godwin, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'd probably jump. He's not healthy, so either Jamal Williams or Jones Jr. Like Jones Jr. is like technically like the wide receiver 1, but I mean technically actually you have the wide receiver 1 for Jacksonville and Dan Arnold. So yeah, I think that's fine for Latavius Murray. Murray should be healthy now, coming back. You know, Le'Veon Bell has been released from the team, so I would figure that means that they're expecting to get Latavius Murray back, or it's Tyson Williams' season. Not sure which one they're doing. I mean, Tyson Williams, they've just not like decided to use it all. So I know I could use Tyson Williams, one of my dynasty teams, you know, that I'm starting just absolutely terrible running backs on. Mitchell Smith, start Carr or Herbert? Yeah, going Justin Herbert here. I don't think it's a tough one. Steelers. TJ Watt's banged up. Yeah, I think this one's easy for me. I'm going to go with Justin Herbert. Christian, Andrew, would you start Damon Harris or Darrell Williams this week? Full point PPR. Going Darrell. Yeah, guys, Darrell Williams, like he's been a top 12 running back since week 6, since Clyde Edwards-Helaire has left the building, basically. Darrell Williams has been a starter every single week, so you're starting him. Like, I don't think there's really any question about it. You know, they talked about how Edwards-Helaire is not going to come back to week 13 now, so unless something changes, and obviously we were not going to know, so I would wait. You know, I mean, that game is going to score so many points. Like, Dallas and Chiefs rank 1 and 2 in terms of plays per game. Like they each run so many plays. So I really see that game. I know again, it's like really chalky and obvious. Like, oh, this game's going to shoot out. It's like, no, but I think it actually is going to like deliver. I know like it seems more often than not, like these like bonkers games don't deliver. I think this game does. I think it does deliver as advertised. Diamond Kohona, half point PPR. Pick 2, Corey Davis, Cooks, or Emmanuel Sanders. I'm going to go with Cooks and Emmanuel Sanders. Corey Davis just has a worse quarterback situation. They all have good matchups for me. And I'd rather have Sanders attached to Josh Allen. I'd rather have Cooks. Tyrod Taylor's probably better than Joe Flacco at this point. It's tough, but that's what I would go with. Nathaniel Weiss, Ramondre or Darrell Williams. A lot of Darrell Williams questions. So yeah, Darrell Williams, like he's a top 12 running back for me. Yeah, start him. Chain gang games. Do I start Ramondre Stevenson or Devontae Freeman? That's an interesting question. I think that I would probably start Ramondre. I think Freeman is probably like a safer guy. I think he's probably easier to project. There is no Le'Veon Bell. So actually, I mean, we don't know like what the deal is with Latavius Murray. So let me see. Is Latavius Murray even like practice? I mean, no. I actually no. I would go with Devontae Freeman. Yeah, he's looked good. I think the Ravens are going to be able to put up points on the Bears. Bears defense has not been really that great this year. I look at against them against running backs. I don't really think they've been too formidable. I really don't think that they've been really very good. Yeah, you know, they've been a bottom team. You know, not exactly like a juggernaut of stopping defenses. So yeah, I think I would go with Freeman there. You know, Stevenson, last week was definitely the ceiling for him, and he could still have a productive game, but Freeman could be the bell cow. You know, there's no Bell. We assume Latavius Murray's healthy. Maybe he's not. Maybe they just used Devontae Freeman. He's looked good. So I'll take Freeman. Michael Sullivan. Andrew, you have kept my playoff hopes alive this season. So thank you for that. Oh, boom. Appreciate that, man. I'm hoping that I am delivering some actual advice that is helping people. Always want to help, not hurt. I have Kamara, Ingram, Robinson, and Swift for running backs. Which two do I start? Half point PPR. Should I flex one over Higgins? Okay, well, you're not starting Kamara and Ingram. So you're starting one of those guys, whoever is like the healthy body. So we'll count that as one running back spot. So the other running back spot, I'm going to start Swift over Robinson. Swift had literally 36 touches last week, so I'm starting him. So it'd be Kamara and Swift That would be the two running backs. And then as a flex, I would probably just start Higgins. I mean, Higgins has 26% target share. So I would probably bench Ingram and Robinson, start Kamara and Swift. And then obviously if Kamara's out, I would start Ingram and Swift and not start James Robinson. All right. We'll talk about more of the guys I want to sit here as I do the start sits portion of the program here. Again, you can always check out the full article over on pff.com. You can get all the sits for week 11. I'm getting some hate. I mentioned Adam Thielen as a sit. Like, I'm trying, guys, I can't just pick all the bad players. Like, I got to pick some, decent guys that are fringier. And Adam Thielen's just not getting a lot of target share. So, you probably can't afford to bench him. But hey, the article is not always just like, hey, just start this player blindly, sit this player blindly. They all have rankings and it's all relative. So it's just like, hey, sit a player really means like, hey, here are some concerns I have about X player. So Carson Wentz, man, Carson, he just did me so dirty last week. I was like, man, this guy's going to smash against Jacksonville. Like, bam, and no. Like, maybe Jacksonville's defense isn't terrible. Last 2 weeks, shut down Wentz, shut down Josh Allen. So, man, Jimmy Garoppolo. So I know we were all so I had people in my ear on my Twitter feed saying Trey Lance tonight, here we go. And obviously, of course, Jimmy Garoppolo balls out, has a great game. I think we might have just been a week early. If I come back onto this live stream next week, we talk about, Trey Lance, he's the starter now. That literally would not surprise me at all. Jacksonville is second in pressure rate this season. Jimmy Garoppolo is PFF's worst graded quarterback under pressure this year. So, Jags defense, I would not be surprised if we see Trey Lance this weekend. That's all I'll say. I'll leave it at that. It's my bold prediction for week 11. Carson Wentz, yes. Keep him on your bench this week. The Buffalo Bills, nada. You do not want to start your quarterbacks against the Buffalo Bills. They rank number 1 in terms of fewest fantasy points allowed to quarterbacks. They also run a lot of cover 1, so with one safety deep. And Wentz sucks against cover 1 this year. PFF's 4th worst graded quarterback among 36 qualifiers against the cover 1 scheme. No thank you, Carson Wentz. Jimmy Garoppolo, I mentioned him already. Pressure rate. I don't like it. They've allowed 8.3 fantasy points over the last 2 weeks to Josh Allen and Carson Wentz, 2 guys that were coming in hot. So Garoppolo's kind of coming in hot as well. He's had a couple of decent games, a couple 300-yard passing games, a couple good fantasy games. I feel like we're gonna see the real Jimmy G come out of this game and just be like, maybe he isn't as good as we thought he was. So I got concerns about Garoppolo. I'm not looking to stream him this week. Jordan Howard, it's just a matchup against the Saints. I don't want to start my running backs against the Saints. Miles Sanders might be coming back. They're still using Jordan Howard, or they're still using Boston Scott. I know Howard's been good, 211 yards, 5.2 yards per carry over the past 3 weeks, but still a committee. Like I mentioned, Scott gets involved, Gainwell gets involved, and the Saints have actually allowed only 53.7 rushing yards per game to running backs. It's actually the worst matchup per PFF's matchup strength of schedule tool. So, I'm out on Jordan Howard. Terry McLaurin. Look, I benched DJ Moore last week, and people said it was bold call, and I was right. So I'm doing it again. Not with DJ Moore, because he's got Cam now. So that's a boost for DJ Moore. Terry McLaurin, I don't like this Washington football team passing attack. Carolina Panthers have allowed the 3rd fewest fantasy points per game to wide receivers. They rank 1st in that facet over the last 4 weeks. So they've been really good at locking down receivers. They have good cornerbacks. This game, I don't think is going to be super high scoring. And McLaurin has been super boom or bust this year. He has 3 top 5 finishes and 6 outside the top 32. So can you afford to bench the upside? Probably not. But if you want a floor play, for example, a Hunter Renfrow, Renfrow is he's been so consistent this year. So if you don't want to take a dud game from McLaurin, you'd rather start Renfrow, then it's really it's so much context with McLaurin. If you need points, you're just trying to shoot for the moon, okay, then I would start McLaurin. But if you don't want to just get a total bust, then I would probably, and receivers bust all the time. I'm just saying this in-game environment leans more towards McLaurin in a bust. Last week it should have been a boom, Tampa Bay, but it wasn't. So Russell Gage, oh my God. I don't have any vendettas against Russell Gage, but I just can't stand him as a fantasy guy. I just can't do it. So 2 of the last 4 games, he has gotten 0 catches altogether. He's a 13% target share. Woof, not great. And he has the worst matchup you could ask for in terms of wide receiver cornerback matchup chart. Slot cornerback Miles Bryant for the Patriots. Shout out to the Pats. Yeah, he is PFF's highest graded cornerback playing this week, 80.4 PFF coverage grade from the slot. Russell Gage, man, like he's not good. Like, he's not an efficient wide receiver. He doesn't get open. He just catches dump offs and it kind of just like falls into production. So I know the targets have to go somewhere. I know he's going to pop in the projections models, probably like Mike Davis will, but I just think they're going to be frustrated. And yeah, could he kind of stumble into some production maybe at the end of the game? Maybe. I just don't think he's going to be a focal point of the offense. I'd rather take a shot, honestly, on like Zacchaeus, Tajay Sharp, like one of these other outside guys. I think we have a better shot of doing something downfield. Whereas Gage, I mean, he's going to turn around and fall down. Like, it's just not a lot of upside with Russell Gage here this week. So I would try to I'm not looking to start him this week. Ziggy, Kendrick Bourne or Alex Collins at PPR for the flex. Man, yeah, a lot of people picked up Kendrick Bourne this week, and I was kind of like, what's going on? I mean, he's still running less routes than Aguilar, so I have some concerns about like how consistent Bourne will be, but he seems like he has a connection with Mac Jones, and I don't want to start Alex Collins, so yeah, I guess I'll go Kendrick Bourne there. But full disclosure, I don't like either guy, really. I really don't. I don't feel confident about either guy, so Kendrick Bourne will be my pick. Ricardo, PPR, Knox, Arnold, or Freiermuth this week. I'm going to go with Freiermuth. I like his matchup here against the Los Angeles Chargers. They've been one of the worst teams against tight ends. Arnold, I think, is a safer play because he's just getting so many targets, but Freiermuth, I think, makes a lot of sense. I think the most upside play is probably Knox. I mean, the Colts have been pretty bad against tight ends, so actually, I think I'll switch my answer. I think I'll go with Knox there. I mean, my one hesitancy with Freiermuth is obviously that Big Ben might not play. Maybe Mason Rudolph again, which is like, Mason Rudolph is just not good. So I'll lean towards Dawson Knox with Josh Allen as his quarterback. Butch. Trade Pitts for AJ Brown. Yes, 100%. Easy money. AJ Brown's like a top 5 wide receiver, so I think that's easy. Ben S, half one PPR, Ingram, Stevenson, Bateman, or Tony at the flex. So again, I can't say Ingram to start him if we don't know about Kamara yet, so I can't necessarily say what to do with him. So I would probably go Stevenson there. Yeah, I think that he's fine. Jay Wood, Cordero or Dawson Knox, full point PPR. Cordero's probably not going to play, so I'd go Dawson Knox in that case. Burrow or Kyler? Go Burrow. I don't know why people are like holding out all hope to play Kyler Murray. Like, what have we seen with these quarterbacks coming off of long time off from injury? Dak Prescott came back from injury. How did he play? Terrible. Last week, Russell Wilson coming off an injury. How did he play? Terrible. So I don't know why we're assuming Kyler Murray, who's dealing with an ankle injury and like part of his game is like running, he's going to come back and be good. Like, no, like make him, I need to see it. Like if it's after the bye week and he had like another week to like get healthy, like, okay, maybe I could buy that a little bit more, but no, I mean, sorry, I want to see it. And I like Burrow this week. I think Burrow's in a good spot. Raiders defense is not scaring me. So I'm going Joe Burrow coming off the bye week. He's going to be even more moved from his ACL. I think he's starting to cook. We're going to see the Bengals come out firing on all cylinders. Harry Potter, Jacoby, or Stevenson? Format, Harry Potter. Come on, man. No, Jacoby or Stevenson? I would probably go Stevenson. I just think that Jacoby, yeah, it's a good matchup. It's just how much are they going to throw? And Jacoby just doesn't catch touchdowns. I know he caught a touchdown last week. That was great. Awesome. I think I'll go Stevenson. Fake Juju, Bateman, or Claypool? I'm going to go with Bateman. I don't think Claypool's going to play, honestly. So Rashad Bateman is easy to get there. And again, reminder, everybody, to like the stream. Please leave us a like. We like it. We would like for you to like the stream. Perfect. It's a win-win for everybody. Sebastian, start Jefferson, Lamb, or Godwin. Pick 2. Man, Sebastian, you got a stacked lineup. I guess I'm benching Jefferson. Man, that feels weird. I don't want to do that. I mean, Green Bay's been kind of good. Yeah, I guess I have to bench Jefferson. That kind of sucks, but yeah. I guess if we learn anything more about Antonio Brown, maybe I would change my mind. If Antonio Brown's going to play, then maybe I would bench Godwin. But Godwin's in a smash spot. The Giants cannot stop slot receivers. Oh my God. So, man, I'm getting tired of just talking about freaking Jefferson, Lamb, Godwin. I got to like power nap before Patriots game tonight. Just going to, hunker down. Catch up on some Z's. I gotta hydrate. That's what I've been lacking. That's what my brain really needs. Some hydration. All right. Back to the questions. JC Eastwood, Should I be holding on to Madison given Dalvin Cook's situation? I don't think the situation is really going to transpire to anything this year, just based on how things have played out in the past with similar allegations. I think you should hold on to Madison because Dalvin Cook could get hurt. Like that's honestly probably more likely to happen for him to actually get hurt and miss time than to him be suspended or something like that. So yeah, I would keep Madison. John Downey. Should I start Michael Carter versus Miami or Harris versus Atlanta? Michael Carter. I'm starting Damian Harris. Like he's the starting running back. Yeah. And even I kind of fell for this a little bit too. I made a Ramondre Stevenson hype video. I'm like, yeah, like my guy, Dr. Dre, like Ramondre, let's go. But I mean, Damian Harris is still the starter. So yeah, Falcons suck. So Damian Harris. Zach Martin. Pick up and stash Cam or Lance as a backup quarterback. Not in a one quarterback league. No, I mean, unless you like don't really like your start, unless you are streaming quarterbacks, like you don't have an actual starter. Um, yeah, I think Cam probably makes some a lot of sense. I know I talked about Lance potentially, getting some action, but it's definitely more of a thin play. Like we know Cam is gonna like play and be the starter, so he's got a good matchup next week against the Dolphins. So if he balls out against football team, like he'll be the top waiver wire ad regardless. So probably go with Cam to pick up as a backup if I'm going to stash anyone. Curtis, Tua, or Russ. I'm going Tua. They're playing the Jets. Make these so-called stud fantasy quarterbacks like prove themselves, okay? Especially coming off injuries. Like prove me that you're back, okay? Have a good game. Be efficient. Do something. Tua has been only good in fantasy when he's played bad teams. So Tua's playing the Jets. They suck. Going Tua. Frankie Edwards. Arnold or Ertz. Standard. Standard changes things a little bit, but I'm still going with my guy Dan Arnold. Too many targets. Ertz has like had opportunities the last couple weeks too with all the injuries, and he's kind of been like So I'll go with Dan Arnold. Theo Walker, Stevenson, Harris, or T Higgins standard. I'm gonna go with Harris there. I like T Higgins. I think he's in a good spot, but it is standard, so not as much juice in the passing game. Alex Elkins. Do you know? Drop Wentz for Cousins. Yeah. I mean, I really don't like either of them this week, but I like Cousins slightly more than Wentz. So, yeah, I think if those are your two quarterbacks that you have to pick from, yeah, I agree. Adam, Carter or Ingram if Kamara's out PPR? Ingram. Oh, easy peasy. Ingram was a top 10 running back last week. Got all the touches, got all the perceptions. Yeah, Mark Ingram, easy peasy. Taste the Skittles, Patriots defense or Bucks defense? Man, I feel like the Bucks are gonna come out like really pissed off and just like destroy Daniel Jones potentially. I would probably go with the Bucks defense. I mean, the Patriots defense is also in a good spot too. Man, it's tough. Man, all right. I'm gonna lean on the projections here. So yeah, at pff.com we have projections, and I'm gonna lean on me here because they're both in really good spots, and really it's really hard to project DSTs, especially when they're both in really good. So let me see if the projections lean one way or another. Yeah, no, they side with me. So they have the Buccaneers. We have the Buccaneers defense as the number 3 defense here. So that's who I'm going to roll with. I think that they're here. Let me see. Is Patriots even on here? Oh man, what is going on? Oh yeah, no. Patriots defense only has like 5.8 projected points. So yes, Buccaneers defense. I was correct. Confirmation bias at its finest. Kyle Cabrera, full point PPR, Peterson, Pollard, or Gallman. Pollard playing in a really high scoring game. Gallman, like I mentioned earlier in the stream, only saw more playing time because it was a blowout. So I don't really know how much action we're going to see him in. And it's like, yeah, Patterson's going to be out, but it's not like Mike Davis is going to take over his role. I mean, I'm interested to see like what they're going to do in general. Like he was such a focal point of their offense. Maybe get, I don't know. It's going to be struggle bus. It's going to be Mike Davis season. Joseph T. Trade offer, all caps. I have Stafford and Waller for Kelsey, Wilson, and Lockett. Yeah. I mean, if you can trade Waller to get Kelsey, Kelsey's just been better this year. So Stafford for Wilson is, look, I think Wilson will probably get it turned around. So I think that makes sense. And you get Lockett too. And Lockett's my favorite buy low guy. So yeah, I like that trade. So I like getting Kelsey, Wilson, and Lockett. Yes, good. Because if Wilson's going to hit, it's going to have to help come with Lockett. So you're kind of investing all your eggs into one basket, but that's what you got to do in fantasy. You got to shoot for the upside and you have to be less right about like multiple things. So if you're right about Lockett and Wilson, then those things are correlated. It'll help your lineup. I like that play there. BX Superman, flex start Allen Robinson, Kendrick Bourne, Kenyon Drake, Marvin Jones Jr. Okay, not playing Marvin Jones. I probably go Kenyon Drake. Allen Robinson is like kind of intriguing. I was like, oh, like he got like 60 receiving yards last week. I kind of like Fields. I'm just still like, it's so weird, like to just be so far away from Allen Robinson after he's just been so good and just like maybe he turns it around in the second half. So it's definitely between Robinson and Drake for me. I think I still like Drake though. I think it's a good matchup for him. So I'll go with Kenyon Drake. But it's close. It's close between him and Allen Robinson. It's definitely not Bourne. O'Keefe. Should I trade Mahomes and Eckler for Kyler Murray and Christian McCaffrey? Probably not. I mean, McCaffrey's like McCaffrey is like the super fragile back. Like he's either gonna win fantasy championship or lose them because even the last 2 weeks he's been back, he's been balling out. But he keeps like getting like hurt. Like he was getting evaluated for a concussion last week. He was getting his knee massage. So it's like, is this guy back all the way? Like, what's going on? Like, come on, like, can we get some consistency here? So I'm honestly afraid to trade for McCaffrey. Just terrified that he's just gonna get hurt again. So I think if you have him, you ride him, but I would not trade for him, especially because like Mahomes and Murray is pretty lateral. I mean, probably say Mahomes is probably who I'd rather have. It's pretty lateral. It's pretty much the same thing. And then Eckler, I mean, Eckler's been really good this year too. So I think I'll just keep Eckler. Fireman, start Waddle or Pittman this week. Going Waddle. Yeah, Pittman has a terrible matchup this week. The Bills are not good matchup, and I think Waddle is the complete opposite. New York Jets, they suck. Not a good defense, but actually one of the worst defenses like over the last 4 weeks. So Jalen Waddle for me. Robert O, like that name. Connor or Montgomery half point PPR. I'm going Connor. 80% plus snap share last week. Super bell cow usage. Benjamin's kind of banged up. Yeah, it's a really good spot. Seattle Seahawks, again, as I mentioned earlier, second worst defense against running backs this year. So James Conner should look, man, he's not going to stop scoring touchdowns. Like we just see these seasons from guys that just have unsustainable touchdown rates, and it just goes all year. So I think that he's going to be fine. Just continue to play James Conner, take the touchdowns. He's basically having like the LeGarrette Blunt season, and next year everyone's going to be like, okay, touchdown regression, like fade him, fade him, fade him. So, but that's not this year. This is this year. James Conner, so you're going to start him in your lineups. Golfer. For RB2, do I start Mike Davis, Wayne Gallman, Jeremy McNichols, Chuba Hubbard, or Boston Scott? For RB2, I start Mike Davis. Okay, Mike Davis, Wayne Gallman. Okay, you're starting Mike Davis or Wayne Gallman. McNichols, Hubbard, Scott. Yeah, starting Mike Davis. I know it feels gross, but he's going to get the volume. Like, just a fact. Just don't watch the game. Well, you're probably going to have to. Just pray he catches a bunch of dump offs. Jay Pelican. Half PPR, flex position, Emmanuel Sanders or Robbie Anderson. I'm going Emmanuel Sanders. Like, Robbie has to do way more than just catch a touchdown for me to, like, put him back on my lineup. Emmanuel Sanders at least been more consistent all throughout the year. Eli Thornton. Pitts or Freiermuth full point PPR. I'm going Kyle Pitts. Yeah. He's going to get all the volume in the offense. Whether he does anything with it remains to be seen because the Patriots are probably going to try to lock him down. But, Matt Ryan's going to try to force some throws to Kyle Pitts. And Kyle Pitts is a good player. He's going to make plays. So I really don't think like JC Jackson is going to like man up with him. And they're going to scheme ways to get him open. So I think Pitts does some. He's just a good player. So he's going to get some. He's going to get his. I don't think it's like a smash spot for him. But yeah, I'm going Kyle Pitts. He's the clear leader in everything in that offense. And Freiermuth is not. Like he's just not he's not even like the top receiver. Justin T, trade Stafford and OBJ for Mahomes. Yeah, sure. I mean, whatever you can get for OBJ is like money. He was the easiest sell high ever. It's like this guy's so hyped up all the time. Have yet to see him produce like in ages. So if he burns me, he burns me. Miami or Cleveland DST? Oh, Miami easy. Easy. Oh, man, actually, no, man. It's like not as easy because I'll go Miami. I know the Browns are getting all the love in the projections, but I'm going against the projections here. I think Miami's the better play. Jets, Joe Flacco, gross. And their defense has been better. Like they were like a real life good defense against the Ravens. So like the Browns, I know have great pass rush. Oh, man, I changed my mind. I'm going Browns. Going Browns. Trust them projections. Their pass rush is unbelievable, and it could be David Blau under center. So I'm changing my mind, going Browns, even though I like them both. Just keep them on your roster till Monday or till Sunday, and then drop one at like 12:55, so no one else can use the other defense. Tyler Rowe, half point PPR, Drake or Foreman. Going Foreman. I think Foreman is like a sneaky start this week, and there is a little bit of wish casting to it. I'm like hoping he gets the work, hoping they continue to get him involved. It's a revenge game against the Texans, but look, in my illustrious fantasy football analyzing career, it has not been that long, but what I've noticed is when running backs have really good matchups, that's kind of like that warrants you starting a running back in like a committee. That's where we see guys pop off. Last week we saw AJ Dillon pop off. Now, obviously, Aaron Jones got hurt, but it was against the Seahawks. So you're questioning about the workload. It's like, oh, is he gonna get the workload? But again, when you're talking about some of these running backs, we don't know. But at least what we do know is when Deontay Foreman does get the ball, however many times he touches it or whatever, he should be efficient based on the matchup and based on what he's shown so far this year. So I will go with Deontay Foreman. Trevor Morton, full point PPR, Lockett or Bateman. Lockett, lock him in. I know he wasn't a start that I listed when we went over the starts, but I just got to share the love with Tyler Lockett. Like, I cannot stand the Tyler Lockett slander on the Twitter sphere anymore. Look, he saw 2 end zone targets last week, 229 air yards. He has a 25% target share since week 7, which ranks 10th. Like, the volume is going to be there. Last year against the Cardinals, he had 250 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns. And the Cardinals rank 30th in passing touchdown rate to wide receivers. Like, this is the blow up spot for Tyler Lockett. Start him. He's going to be like my own most roster guy in DFS. Stack him with James Conner. It's going to be great. James Conner, Tyler Lockett. Whew. It's going to be a fun Sunday. Cannot wait. Matt Key, PPR, Waddle or Stevenson? I'll go Waddle here. Again, Jets matchup, clear receiving leader. He actually has a higher target share with Tua under center than Jacoby Brissett, 24% versus 20%. I like Jalen Waddle. Fish P, Wayne Gallman, start or sit? Sit. Yeah, don't play Wayne Gallman. Like, he's not the lead back. He's not. It's Mike Davis. Mike Davis is the lead back. Sorry. I like Wayne Gallman too, but he's not a lead back. And even if he gets more carries, like, that's totally going to happen potentially. Like, we don't want carries. Like, DeAndre Swift had 30 carries last week and was like not even an RB1 because it doesn't matter. You want receptions, and Mike Davis is more involved in the passing game. Adam H, Superflex League, pick 2 quarterbacks: Mahomes, Burrow, Cam. I'll go Mahomes and Burrow, easy. I think Cam is tantalizing. You're like, ooh, like, this could be fun, but let's let him see him play. Like, he literally put like 5 snaps last week. He was good, but see him over a full game. Again, this is a new offense to him, so maybe he's a little aggressive. Jim P, what's going on, Andrew? Thoughts on trading away Kelsey and Damon Harris for Kittle and Barkley? I like that. The tight end move is somewhat lateral. You're definitely taking on some risks because if Trey Lance takes over, like, I don't know what to expect from Kittle and the other 49ers pass catchers. However, I know Kelsey hasn't been true difference maker, and Kittle's never been really a player that needs a high target share to be effective. So I think the tight end move is fine. Travis Kelce also has his bye week still, where Kittle already had his bye week. And Barkley over Harris, yeah, it's pretty clear that's a massive upgrade if Barkley's healthy. So again, a riskier, no, this isn't smash, but I get the mind process behind this trade, and I like what you're doing with that trade. So yeah, I think that I would want to do that. Get Kittle and Barkley. Brian's Dream, full point PPR, Stevenson, Myers, Foreman. I'll go with Stevenson there. Tim Smith, I need to start one. Dearness Johnson, Devontae Freeman, Latavius Murray. So if there's no Nick Chubb, you're going to start Dearness Johnson basically no matter what. And if that's not the case, then you start Devontae Freeman because he's the starting running back for the Ravens. Latavius Murray is not. Cody, full point PPR. Need a flex to replace Cordero Patterson. Michael Gallup. Has Patterson been ruled out? I guess I got to check up the updates. So Nick Chubb is trending in the right direction. Updates here. Dallas Goedert's back in practice. You love to see it. And Jared Goff not practicing. DeAndre Hopkins not practicing. James Robinson is stretching. Great. Gallup, Bateman, Corey Davis. I go with Bateman there. Gareth Taylor, flex standard, Waddle, CH, or T. Higgins. CH is probably not going to play because of the standard league. I would go with T. Higgins. More touchdown upside than Waddle, I would say. So go with Higgins. Win, land, Chan. Should I drop Tyler Higbee for Dan Arnold? Yeah, I mean, if you needed the starting tight end this week, then yeah, I would drop Tyler Higbee for Dan Arnold. Ernest or Gronk full point PPR. Guys, like, okay, so Nick Chubb is trending in the right direction according to my latest update. So I would not, you're not starting Dearness Johnson. Like, he's not like Kareem Hunt. I know he's looked good when he's played, but he has not seen like the Kareem Hunt role. So I'm not starting him. So I guess Gronk in that situation. Justin Gray. Hey, Andrew, I know you love Lockett. Yep, I do. But would you trade him and Knox for Kittle? Yeah, I mean, if you need a tight end and you want to upgrade the position, yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, Lockett's going to be boom bust, like no matter what. And I think this week is just a boom week for him. I mean, you could easily buy low on Lockett this week, see him just go nuclear, and then just trade him away and get more. Like, that's totally fine. So if you're able to get value for him now, and you like the move that you're getting, I mean, you're getting Kittle. I think that's obviously an upgrade over Knox. Then yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. Start Aguilar or Chenault. Oh God. Okay, Rod S. This is a gross starter sit question, but I'm going to give you confidence. Nelson Aguilar is going to have a good game this week or tonight. It's my Thursday night bold call. Nelson Aguilar. Let's go with either 75 receiving yards over or a touchdown. So Aguilar starting over Chenault. Chenault has been demoted behind Jamal Agnew. It's not good for the Chenault truthers like myself. So yes, Nelson Aguilar will be my guy. Coronado Kyle. That's a cool name. Panthers D or Saints D? Panthers D or Saints? I'm just going to go to the projections because they just know more than I do when it comes to these DSTs that are just so hard to crack. Panthers, Saints. I mean, I don't really like the Saints D, really. I think I'd probably go with the Panthers defense. Let me see if the projections agree with me. I definitely want the confirmation bias. Oh my God, of course they're right. They're back to back. So I'll go Panthers. I like Jalen Hurts. Sorry. Derek, should I start Bateman or Peterson flex? Oh, Bateman, easy. Got to start with Shotty B. Shotty B's been good all year. Top 30 receiver. 3 games that he's played. Actually played 4 games. Last 3 games, he's been a top 30 receiver in expected fantasy points per game. So keep him up in your lineups. Simon O. Half point PPR, Mike Gesicki or Kyle Pitts. And so I'm going with Gesicki there. I like Gesicki's matchup a little bit more. And I do think Pitts, yeah, he's getting volume, but like he could just get totally shut out. If the Patriots are just like, yeah, we're going to like triple team him and make Zacchaeus and Gage and Tajay Sharp beat us, which is probably like a solid game plan for the Patriots. Wide receiver Peoples dude, I like Peoples Jones, man. Like, I think that got a raw duel last week. Everyone hates the Browns now because like, oh, Baker Mayfield sucks. It's like, it's one game. Like every time we like just draw these massive conclusions after one game where a team gets blown out, we're always wrong the next week. Like, oh, like maybe they weren't as bad as we thought. Just there's so much changes from a week to week basis. And Belichick is just a master of game planning and just like makes you do things, with a hand tie behind your back. So he put the Browns in a very tough spot. So that's why Baker Mayfield was so bad. So I think that Peoples Jones actually is I mean, Corey Davis, like I'm gonna like slowly move him down the rankings. I'm just like, Joe Flacco's on a quarterback. I know the matchup's good, but I mean, the matchup's like Miami has good corners. Like, I don't know why they've been so bad this year, just like defending the pass, but they have been playing better on defense in general. I mean, they did play well against the Ravens last week. So I think that Corey Davis would be someone I'm just like, like whatever. Simon O. Okay, did that my question already? Jacob Leslie, Titans D or Patriots D? Oh, you got to go Patriots defense. Or no, sorry, you got to go Titans defense there. Dorkman, would you start Joe Burrow or Russell Wilson this week? Joe Burrow. Easy. Joe Burrow facing the Raiders cover. I mean, the Raiders have allowed the 3rd most fantasy points to quarterbacks. And the Raiders just got destroyed by Mahomes. Like, Joe Burrow's going to deal. Give me Joe Burrow. Tales from the Crypto. Love this name. Do you start Cordero if he starts? And if he doesn't, would you use Higgins or Williamson? Is that Tyson Williams? I would start T. Higgins over Cordell Patterson, so that just makes it easy. Cortland Hughes, trade Kittle for AJ Dillon, full PPR. George Kittle for AJ Dillon. Yeah, I do it. Pull the trigger. I think okay. So Cortland Hughes. So it depends on what your other tight end is. So if you have another like decent backup you feel good about, or you need wins like right now, then yeah, I would do that. But again, Aaron Jones is going to be coming back at some point. So, but I think if you need wins now, AJ Dillon makes a lot of sense. Roni B, Fields or Jimmy G for this week? Oh, Fields, easy Fields over. This is my most confident start sit question. So I'm glad you came in here, Roni B. I don't think Fields is going to let you down. I really think we're going to see Jimmy G like face plant this week. It's my bold take. Trey Lance will be in the second half. Let's see what happens. Sky Swag and Ravens D or Browns D. Browns D. I like Fields this week. So I think he can do a lot more than David Blau / Jared Goff. And Jared Goff keeps missing practice. It's like one of those things where we're like, oh, like maybe he's not that bad, but yeah. What do we got here? Luis Miguel Morano, flex PPR, please choose one. DJ Moore, Elijah Mitchell, Daryl Williams. Oh, sorry. This other question. I think someone asked me for Williams. If that's Daryl Williams, I would start Daryl Williams and T. Higgins over Cordell Patterson. Okay, back to this question. DJ Moore, Elijah Mitchell, Daryl Williams. Choose one. Daryl Williams. Easy. Easy. I had this question last week. I almost started Tyler Lockett over Daryl Williams last week. Thank God I started Daryl Williams. That could have been a disaster. L. Orenis, half one PPR, McLaurin, Waddle, Michael Carter, pick 2. Goes Waddle and Michael Carter. Stick to the plan. McLaurin, not a great matchup, so don't love it. All right. Before I get back to the start sit questions, talk about the giveaway. We're doing a live giveaway this Sunday, November 21st, during the 12 p.m. Eastern kickoff live stream right here on the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel. Courtesy of our friends at pristineauction.com. One lucky subscriber will receive an autographed Amari Cooper Dallas Cowboys jersey. How do you enter? It's simple. Subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel before the 12 p.m. Eastern Sunday live stream. Ask a fantasy-related question in the YouTube chat during the show. That's it. We'll announce a winner at the end of the stream, so you can make sure to stick around to claim your prize. Boom. It's an early Christmas present. Come on. Get in on the live stream and subscribe. Danny Hadley. Goddard or Waller? PPR. Oh, Waller. Easy. Easy top 3 tight end. Easy. David Lopez. Miami defense or Bills defense? Man, a lot of defensive questions. Why do you guys have so many defenses? Bills. Bills have just been so good on defense. They've just been like mauling guys. And Wentz has tendencies to just like make these like really boneheaded turnovers. You're like, what is he doing, man? Like, come on. So I'll go Bills. They're actually the number 1 DST in fantasy. So go Bills. Ziggy, rank these 3 as rest of season. I love the rest of season questions because I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to need some water for this one. Okay. Van Jefferson, Jacoby, Christian Kirk. I think Jacoby by like default because he's like the number 1. Mac Jones is like heating up. So Jacoby, probably Van. Because I got to see OBJ like prove something, and then Kirk. It's weird because Kirk has like probably been the most productive out of the 3, but Hopkins is coming back. They have a bye week. Yeah, they're close though. Yeah, Jacoby, Van, Christian Kirk. I think they're all kind of good guys though. They're all like pretty decent assets. Hey Andrew, if CH, should I start Daryl or T Higgins? Yeah, you're gonna start Daryl Williams. Easy. Josh and Muffins, full point PPR flex spot for Mike Williams or Emmanuel Sanders. Man, yeah, Mike Williams has been like gross. Just the usage has not been there. He's not getting a lot of targets. It's an issue, but the Steelers matchup is pretty good. They have been not great against receivers so far this season. Oh man, it's tough for the Emmanuel Sanders. Man, I gotta get that power nap in for the Pats game. We'll be falling asleep at halftime. Well, luckily the Patriots will be up 28-3 by then. So hey, Sanders, Mike Williams. All right, check the ranks when it's this close. When it's this tight, it's razor sharp close. I think I've got. Oh, of course they're back to back. I hate Jay Castle, man. You are just. Oh wait, no, that's a different question. Josh and Muffins, man. You're just absolutely killing me right now. Well, I will answer this other one from Jay Castle, PPR, Mike Williams or Kirk. I'm gonna go Kirk. That one's easy. Mike Williams, Emmanuel Sanders. Mike Williams. I'm leaning towards the youth. I do have Mike Williams one spot ahead, so I'm going with Mike Williams. Chase the ace. Flex start, full point PPR, Renfro or Higgins. Full point PPR, man. Like, dude, Renfro has been lights out. He's like just been so good. And I know like T. Higgins like cannot continue just like underwhelm. Like I know he's gonna just pop eventually, but Renfro's just been like so solid, like every single week. So if you want that floor, I would lock in Renfro. And if you want a higher ceiling, probably go T. Higgins. So I know I'm gonna say Renfro. Get Renfro in there. Ketra, sorry. Start with Robinson or David Montgomery. I'll go David Montgomery. Guy, he was the bell cow when he came back. Bell cow and David Montgomery. I don't think the Ravens matchup is too tough. I think the Bears actually going to move the football. Got the Konami code with Justin Fields. Open up those lanes for David Montgomery. So I like Montgomery in that spot. Last one here, folks. Tyler Knowles. Niners D or Browns D. Going to drop one for kicker on Sunday. Love the strategy. This is someone that not only knows about football, but knows about the game of fantasy, which not enough people talk about. There's an element of strategy to fantasy. Rostering. I drop my defense and kickers and just roster running backs all week long, and then drop them for kickers. So Niners or Browns. Yeah, going with Browns in this case. It's close. They're all top 5 defenses. But the Browns can be playing David Blau, and they have a good pass rush. And yeah, they are in a smash spot this week. So going to go with the Cleveland Browns. So, all right. Thank you all for tuning in to the live stream here for week 11. Again, my name is Andrew Erickson. All my work content can be found over at pff.com. That's where I make my living at Pro Football Focus. So yeah, make sure you go check out all my articles. Follow me on Twitter at Andrew Erickson _. Feel free to reach out. Got a question? You want to talk ball? You want to tell me how you're doing? Whatever. I'm a nice guy. I enjoy conversations, especially, I don't get out much. Okay. I'm stuck in this room with the Josh Gordon jersey. Hopefully we can upgrade to a Mac Jones jersey, but I'll be rocking that tonight when the Patriots take on the Atlanta Falcons. So again, have fun watching the game tonight, and we will see you next week for week 12. I think we'll see you next week. I don't know what the schedule is going to be with, Thanksgiving and all. So we'll see how that shakes out, but I will be back eventually for the next Start or Sit live stream. So thank you all for watching, and I will be back next time.